Hi everyone, I'm Shalini here, and I'm the chairman of the WI student branch of JPI Engineering College, and we'll be starting the broadcast right now. Okay, so today I would like to share my experience as how I've been a volunteer in WIE and what I've learned through this journey in IEEE so far. So initially, when I started, I was very eager to participate, and basically it was the alumni members, our seniors in my college, who actually motivated me to participate in WIE and volunteer. Like initially, I used to be very intimidated by people, and I used to have stage fright. But then volunteers, IEEE members, initially in their membership drive, they told us that the main theme in IEEE is to come forth and volunteer. And that's what motivated me to come forward and do it. So in WIE last year in our student branch, we conducted, it was inaugurated in 2012 actually. And ever since its inauguration, uh, women, men and women, both of them have been motivating us to conduct events and encourage women to come forth. So the first event that we conducted was a vocabulary ability test to encourage people to put their vocabulary skills to test and encourage them to learn for their recruitments and help them in their placements actually. And the most significant event that we conducted last year was the WIE Forum, which we conducted in September. And that the main theme for that event was to empower, energize, and emerge for growth. So it was basically a start off to encourage women and discuss the topic of women empowerment and encourage women to come forth. So it was a 2-day event, and we not only had sessions on panel discussions, and we also had an aspect on entrepreneurship. We had Mr. Arjun R. Pillai, the CEO of Profoundis, and Mr. Sijo Kuruvilla George. We also had Mrs. Vaidehi ma'am, who spoke about WIE and the mission and vision of WIE. And apart from, we thought that it would be better to have a mixture of events, not only focusing on serious issues, but also to participatory events where people can have fun. So we had surprise events for all the participants, and we also had a poster designing contest and sketch it, and a short film contest as well. This year, we had an event, the STAR program. We conducted it for nearby government school. And according to me, this was an event which actually transformed our thinking about events and activities. So in this STAR program, the first year students of our college, the newly entered IEEE members, were told to create simple science projects which could be easily taught to the school students. And what we noticed was the first year students were very eager to actually go ahead and create these projects, and when they presented it to the school students, they were immensely happy. They were happy that they had actually made a difference in students, and they noticed that the government school students who had never seen such projects being presented to them, they were very eager to learn about all these projects. And what surprised us the most was the very next day, the school students created projects on their own, and they came and presented to their teachers. That was a very significant moment for us, because we realized that we had actually made a change in the school students, and we had made a change in their how they had thought, and how they had been given a chance to show their talent. And we were really happy that we were able to encourage that and create that environment for them. And now this government school has a science project where many students, again, almost all the 6th grades and 7th and 8th grade students have presented projects, and that we have been, all our students, all the IEEE members who participated in this event are extremely happy and glad and they have realized what change that they can create in people around them. So, okay, so those are some of the events that we have done in our WI Affinity group. And I would also like to talk about what makes our student branch very unique. So, in our student branch, the alumni members make sure that even when they step out of the student branch, they still support us and guide us through the journey. The significant achievement for WI Affinity Group in our college, especially, would be that men and women equally encourage WIE activities in our college. The men, IEEE members, also ensure that WIE is not sidelined, and they make sure that we conduct activities. And whenever we conduct activities, they encourage us to the utmost, and they have been very significant for our achievements so far. So I would like to, if you have any questions, I would like to answer that. Okay, so why I wanted to be an engineer. Uh, Basically, when you're young, people generally have notions put into you, and they say you got to be a doctor, you got to be an engineer, and things like that. So initially, I had this idea that the stethoscope was the best thing and was the most proud thing that you could carry around, and I was planning to be a doctor. But then, uh, when I noticed, but then in my 10th grade and so on, I had a keen interest in physics. And engineering is a profession where you can actually create things and build things and make a difference for society. I really like that. I noticed engineers creating projects, working on projects, and which actually had a significant change. Like all around me, I could see engineering and science in work, and I wanted to be a part of that. And for me, basically I'm an electrical engineer, and I love creating things, and I have an interest in sustainable energy, and I'm working at a project in sustainable energy. And for me, engineering is more than a profession. Engineering is a part of my life, and I would like to use engineering to benefit the society. And I would like to go to areas and go to rural areas specifically and create projects which can help them. So that's for me, watching people who are not able to apply engineering, and I would like to go forward and reach out to those people and teach them the wonders of engineering. So that's why I became an engineer. So when I started off in IEEE, I started off as a volunteer. I used to regularly attend the seminars in our Madras section, and later on, as I progressed, watching my active participation in the seminars and workshops, my alumni members, the senior members in my college, they encouraged me to come forth and present in front of a crowd. So that was the moment. For most of us, it will be having stage fright is pretty common, and for me, it was common too. But that was my initial stage in IEEE. But right now, I'm in a position where I can talk and address 500 people in my college, and I can tell them these are the benefits of IEEE. And because I myself am an example of how I have grown, and I myself have benefited from IEEE. So I think my life itself is an example of what change IEEE can bring about in you. And I would suggest members to come forth. I would like generally members tend to attend events, but they tend to sit back when they want to volunteer. So I would encourage people to come forth and volunteer, because there are so many volunteering opportunities in IEEE, and we would love to see people like that. So whether in your section or in your region, wherever you may be, definitely you will have an opportunity. Okay, I have a question here from Elba, Elbash Mohan Sharma. What does WIE do to encourage girls in high school to enter engineering faculty? Okay. Okay, so WIE has the STAR program, the student teacher and research scientist program, wherein the IEEE members go to the schools. Excuse me. So sorry. So yeah. So the STAR program, it is encouraged to uh, make the student members create an awareness about science and tell them the wonders of science. It's to show that science can be fun, and students are given a chance, the school students are given a chance to explore science. And I think that is a wonderful program wherein the high school students are given an opportunity to view the science through a different angle. Generally, sometimes students tend to view science as a very scary subject, wherein it's pretty tedious. But when you show the practical side and the wonders of science and show that science can be fun, then students will definitely be encouraged to come into the engineering field. So WI encourages students through STAR program and other activities by conducting activities in schools to do all these. Okay, there's a question. What is the best advice you have ever received in your profession? So recently, when I met Mrs. Ramlata Marimuthu ma'am, the WI Madras section chair, she told that she takes things lightly and ignores what is not to be considered. So speaking to her is always a huge inspiration for people like me. And for me, the thing is, go ahead and do it. That's what she said. And I think that's the best advice I've ever got, to go ahead and try out things. Basically, I'm a sort of person who thinks about a million times before doing something. And generally generally I feel that it's not the ability. I doubt my ability. But as after coming to IEEE, there have been so many people around me who have been inspiring me and telling me that I can do it. So that's the one advice that I've really got, that's got me going all along, to go ahead and try things and do it. Okay, there's a question. How did you learn about IEEE and IEEE and WI? Okay, so once I entered in my college, initially before joining my college, I had to attend a counseling session, and I actually did not know about the college or about IEEE. And in the college website, they had mentioned about IEEE and the achievements that they had done so far. And I found it unique that there was a chance for me to not only learn engineering but also apply engineering. And there was a forum for me to connect with people who had similar interests. So that was what sparked me off. And I deliberately joined that particular college because uh, it, it had showed the activities that it had conducted in IEEE. So I got to know the first-hand information that I got about IEEE was through the college website. And once I joined the college, the senior members, the IEEE members in our college, conducted a membership drive for us. And in that membership drive, they told us that IEEE is an organization where you can network with people and engineers with similar interests, and also it's a chance for you to put forth your ideas, the changes that you want to make and the projects that you want to create. So that was a very significant moment for me to know that about IEEE. And I was present at the WI inauguration, and we had Ramlata ma'am and also Miss Helen from Singapore, and they spoke about WIE and how WIE had impacted their lives. And that were very key things for us. And it actually made a change to know that there was a chance for women, there was a forum where women were encouraged to come forth with activities. And that was very important for us, and it was very important for me and my friends to know that there was a chance and there was a forum for us to connect to. Okay, so there is a question from WI India. Who's your inspiration? So WI India, I would say that my senior colleague, Salma Saitun, she's a communication coordinator in WI Madras section, and she was the secretary in our student branch. Before, as I was a volunteer, Salma has always been encouraging me to go forth and try out things, and she's also guided me all the way along. And every moment when I have a setback or when I uh, do not put forth my best, she is there to pat me and tell me that it is all right and I can do better than this. She has helped me to discover abilities that I did not know which even existed. Salma is an extremely brave girl, and she steps out and shows that helps us to find out opportunities and volunteer in WI. She is the biggest inspiration for me in WI, and even after passing out of the college, she is still guiding me in participating in WIE and encouraging me to explore the changes that I can make, the opportunities that I can create for my fellow IEEE members. Okay, so I would also like to tell you about one more WI event that one of the WI events that we conducted this year. So we conducted a paper presentation contest called Papyrus. So generally in a paper presentation contest, it's just a one-day presentation where people come and present. But this was an innovative idea wherein students were taken along in a step-by-step process wherein first they had to submit their abstract, and then later on we encouraged them to not entirely present a paper as a bulk. Generally we notice that when we give a paper presentation contest abruptly to students, they tend to download papers and they do not take an attempt. They find it pretty scary to take up an initiative and write an entire paper by their own. They find it a very intimidating task, and I guess it is so for many of us. So what we did was, first we told them to submit an abstract. We gave them a deadline to submit an abstract, and we also provided them an opportunity to connect with seniors and professionals who are related to those areas where they are doing their projects. So that was the first step, the abstract submission. Then we had two other submissions wherein they had to report whatever they had done so far. So these two deadlines were to encourage students to not give up, and we were constantly reminding them and encouraging them to write their own papers and not to download papers. So in the first submission we had where they had to partly submit their report, and a second submission where they, after a week later, so that they would have a continuity. So they had a second submission, and finally we had the paper presentation contest. So that was a significant change, so that students can they can go through a process where they can come and they don't miss out on it. They are on track all the time. And we ensured that they were on track, and they wrote a paper on their own. And once the papers were submitted, we scanned all the papers for plagiarism, and once the process was over, we were glad to know that there were no papers which were plagiarized actually. So once we had finished the screening process, we had the paper presentation contest. So the key thing for us is we learned that encouraging students, members need a boost occasionally, so that they come forth and continue the event or participation in that. One of the important things that we concentrate this year in our student branch is to increase membership involvement. Like when a IEEE member is given a benefit, they are encouraged to participate in workshops, they do so. But volunteering is the biggest value for an IEEE member. So when the member needs to know that they are also valued in IEEE, so you can do so by volunteering. So we encourage students, apart from the Execom team, we encourage other students in all the IEEE members in our college to come forth and volunteer in activities. We have more than 375 members, and so it is actually a tedious task to make every member volunteer, but Okay, after the first two events where we had to pull up people, now student members are participating actively in they are volunteering actively in our student branch. So we make sure that for every event there are at least about 10 volunteers who come forward, new volunteers who haven't tried before. There are many people who have stage fright, or they are very eager to volunteer, but they had a little bit of anxiety to come forth and do it. But now there are more and more people who are actually coming forward and telling us that they want to volunteer in events and they too want to conduct events. So that is a huge change that we have seen, and we are sure that that is a very important goal to achieving retentionship. And actually our retentionship has increased and we are getting a good feedback from the IEEE members. Another key thing is, in our student branch, we make sure that we also receive suggestions for events from our IEEE members. We make sure that they are also involved in it, and they also have a chance where they can address and they can tell us whether we are doing it right or wrong. We make sure that we listen to every student member and what sort of events they want to present or what sort of activities they want, so that we can cater better to what, how IEEE can benefit them. Okay, there is a question. How do you get students interested in joining WIE? So, as I said earlier, the STAR program, we made the first year students to create science projects and present it to the school students. So, they were new IEEE members and they had very little awareness of WIE. So, we wanted to give them a first hand experience of what WIE, what sort of impact WIE would create. So, that's why we went forth for the STAR project, so that the newly entered IEEE members know the significance of WIE and what the mission and vision of WIE. So we took them, we as they created the science projects, we had a selection process first where they presented the science projects and we gave them feedback on how they should do it. And later on in the second round, they came back and they presented to the school students. So we highlighted in a practical first-hand experience, we highlighted what WIE will do to them and what changes WIE can bring about. So I think that's the best way to show a student member. Uh, of course, we should enlighten them about what IEEE is and what WIE is, but also giving them a first-hand experience makes them realize that it makes them realize, and it'll stay with them and tell them that no, this is what WIE is about, this is what IEEE is about. So that was our aim. So from now onwards, we are planning to conduct STAR program for the newly entered IEEE members and create awareness about WIE in this practical way, so that they understand and realize the real impact of what WIE is. Okay, there's another question. How do you energize your group year to year and keep the motivation? So the main thing that we concentrate on is that we bring in volunteers from the next year, and we make sure that there is a continuity. Sometimes the one of the biggest problems that occurs in the student branches, first, I mean, in a particular year they are active, and then when the baton is not passed on properly to the next set of volunteers, then the leadership gets missed out and the student branch falls into inactivity. So in our student branch, we ensure that we work together side by side with the junior volunteers. We ensure that the volunteers are also active. Okay, so there's another question from Arvind Guna. How to become a IEEE member? So, in case there is a student branch in your college, then probably you can contact the student branch and ask them to connect to IEEE member, or you can go to ieee.org and on your right hand corner there will be an option to join IEEE, and you can click on that, and once you follow the process you can become an IEEE member. But once you become an IEEE member, in case your college does not have a student branch, then please go ahead and connect with your section and ask them how you can go about establishing a student branch. Because once you become an IEEE member, you don't stop just there. You go ahead, you have to utilize your benefits in IEEE. IEEE has a huge range of benefits, so you need to go and explore the opportunities it has and utilize those opportunities. Okay, there's another question. Uh, which departments of engineering does WIE work in? So WIE is about women empowerment, and it is not restricted to departments of engineering as such. WIE is a wide forum, and it is mainly to encourage women and boost women and help them to create careers in engineering and continue their careers in engineering. So yeah, and another thing, in our student branch, we have an active Facebook page. Having a social media group is very important for a student branch, because you can connect with your student members not only during college hours but also outside, and you can also conduct online events. We have in our student branch, we conduct online events regularly where IEEE members are encouraged to participate, and we have our student branch has an exclusive Facebook page where we post updates on what is happening in IEEE, what is happening in our student branch, and what are the activities that are also the contests that are happening region wise or in an international stage. So we give them it is a platform to connect with your student members and tell them about the contests and the opportunities that are available in IEEE, and keep them updated about the latest trends in technology and the events that are happening in our student branch. And also it is when you're having a huge a student member count in your college, it is quite difficult to connect and reach out to each person individually. But when it comes to through social media, you can network with a larger audience, and that is very important. And actually, through Facebook, you get a chance, not only through Facebook but through social media like Twitter and LinkedIn. You're able to connect to so many different people, and that's very important. IEEE and WI, they're an international organization. So when you can through social media, you have the ability to get to know about what are the events that are happening in other regions, in region 8, region 6, region 10. So from my region, I'm able to reach out to people in a different region, and I'm able to chat with them and tell them the events that are happening and share ideas. So that's a platform. So it is very vital for you to utilize social media and tell your student members about how they can utilize social media to know more about IEEE and more about WIE and the events that are happening, and also encourage them to come up with events and tell them that they too can conduct events. And it gives them a different perspective. It gives them different, I mean, in different regions different types of events will be going on, so that gives you a chance to go ahead and see the events that are being conducted, and probably it will inspire you to identify such events and conduct those events for your student members, and they too will get benefited by it. Okay, there's another question. What type of engineering fields are you studying? So basically, I'm an electrical engineer, electrical and electronics, and I have an interest in renewable energy. And I'm currently doing a project in wind energy and solar, and also I have an interest in solid waste management. And recently, in our college, we conducted a solid waste management survey, wherein we encouraged the student volunteers, the new student volunteers, to conduct a survey where they were asked about how they what they know about solid waste management and what sort of importance they give it. And based on the solid waste management survey, we want to come up, based on the feedback that we get from our volunteers, we would like to make them think about how they can create a solid waste management awareness in our college. And it is this survey was mainly conducted so that we can give an insight for our IEEE members about actually how they are managing their solid waste how they're managing their solid waste in their everyday lives, and what sort of importance. And it was to make them think that probably they should do their part for managing the environment. So I have a very keen interest in making the environment better, and I would like to create work in projects wherein I can create a more pollution free environment. So I am focusing on wind energy and solar. Okay, so there's another question. Some students don't have internet. How does WIE contact with them? So we conduct WIE awareness programs regularly in our colleges, so that students and also in schools, so that those who do not have internet facilities are able to understand about WIE. In our college, students in the hostel sometimes know they cannot regularly have, people from rural areas do not have an internet connectivity. So in those cases, we help them. We have IEEE members and volunteers who help them with their internet connectivity, and we link them with a person so that they can easily reach out and access the internet. So if they have any internet problem in our college, we ensure that an IEEE volunteer provides them with an internet facility so that they can utilize it, and they can help to conduct they can participate in IEEE events. When we conduct an IEEE event, we probably have, like, say in Papyrus, we have an abstract submission. So in such cases, they have to send us an email. So when they are not able to do so, they come and directly approach us and tell us that the problems that they are facing, so that we can provide them with the internet facility. Another main thing that a student branch that we do is we regularly ask our students about what sort of problems they are facing, whether they have any problems regarding their membership, or whether they have any ideas regarding IEEE, or whether they want to participate in a particular contest, or they want to participate in a workshop or so. So when they come forward with we ensure that we listen to their queries, and we make sure that we listen to their problems, and we ensure that it is solved. So in case they have a problem with membership, we tell them to contact the IEEE, and we tell them to go for a live chat and ask their queries. So in such cases, we make sure that we not only answer their queries, but we let the students themselves go and solve their problems. Like whenever they have an internet connectivity, we help them with it. So whether they have a query about their membership, they haven't received their membership card, so then what we do is we tell them to contact live chat or IEEE, and we make sure that they sort out the problem on their own. We do not want every time we do not want to we make sure that they can stand on their own and solve their own problem, instead of them being passive and we doing it all the time. Okay, there's a question from An Balu. What's your vision for WI 13 to 14? Any inspiring activities or strategies you've come across to share? So in our student branch, we would like, after V Forum was basically a chance to talk about women empowerment and start a discussion about women empowerment. So following that, in 2013 to 2014, we would like to conduct an event where women apply engineering, and they create create projects in engineering. So we want to create a platform, a technical conference for students, women volunteers, so that they have a chance to put forth their talent and put forth their ideas and create projects. We notice that generally women do not tend to go to the technical fields, and once they finish their engineering, generally they opt out. So in order to stop that, we have gone ahead, and we are still working on the conference, and we would like to conduct such a conference wherein we can highlight the technical importance and how women can actually step forth and actually do it. So we want it to be more of a highlight on how much women can be involved in a technical field. So, how I would want WI to be in 2013 to 14 is to have a collaboration, a network platform where between students and professionals, where they can directly contact professionals and they can interact with them and understand how they can create and progress in their careers. Students, they do not have a very practical view about how they will be in the workplace and what sort of things are expected, what sort of work they should be doing. So when they directly connect with a professional, or when they have a mentor as such, students tend to be more confident, and if they have a guide who can lead them through their when they enter into the workplace, then that would be really great. So I would like to see such kind of network platform. Already there are people like Kayana and Anita who are encouraging student members to come forth. So that would be really great for us to see, and to make sure that more student volunteers, when they come out, when they step out of their final year, probably it would be a chance for them to connect with professionals. That would be really wonderful. And that sort of a platform will make sure that once they pass out, women and students don't totally step out, but they continue their career and progress with their careers. So I would like to, okay, there's another question. How important are soft skills to achieve success as an engineer? So soft skills are extremely crucial for an engineer because in an engineering field, when you do a project as such, you want to share it with your peers. So soft skills are very essential. It is you are Soft skills are essential for an engineer to tell the world that this is what you are doing and show them the importance of your work. And soft skills is very important for you to reach out to fellow engineers. So unless you step out and interact with a crowd and be effective in your communication, people will not be aware of your capabilities, of what you have done. So definitely your work is definitely an important one, but after that, so in order to show your work to the world and tell them your what you have done and what improvements you want to make, so that's very crucial. Soft skills are very crucial for a person to and soft skills just generally people say, like you have to learn something, but for soft skills it's like you start off and you just kick off and you go on. So as I said, once I started, I was really scared and I was really intimidated, but as you progress, you realize that you are capable of doing things. You're capable of interacting and putting forth your ideas in a better way. Initially, I was not able to express what I wanted. I had ideas, I had thoughts on what to do, but I wasn't able to present it. So that was a huge impediment for me. So when you are confident enough about your ideas, and when you know what ideas you want to implement, then it is very important for you to come forth and with the same amount of confidence to come forth and express your ideas to the world. How can professors in the faculty help WI in educational problems of engineering? So faculty support is very crucial, definitely. And okay, let me just read that question again. So faculty can also actively can actively participate in WIE and create awareness among the students. So generally for student members, it's very crucial to have the support of your faculty while conducting events. And in our college, we've been lucky enough to have a wonderful faculty. We have a really great branch counselor who comes forth and encourages us to conduct. So when faculty members, they can they can encourage student members, and they themselves can actively participate in WIE, reach out to through WIE they can reach out to colleges, and they can create changes. So faculty members, they can identify in WIE, you get to reach out to so many members, and through you can create a network, and you can probably create solutions for what is ailing in education. And you can in WIE, faculty members can conduct events on what they can create a platform for a discussion, probably, and based on that discussion, they can involve in that discussion, they can involve fellow faculty members from different groups or different colleges or schools, and first raise a discussion about what's how they can solve the educational problems. So when you have a forum, WIE can create a forum where they can discuss what sort of problems is ailing education, and what are the solutions that you can put forth. And probably once that network has been established, then you can go ahead, and probably in the next step, you can go ahead and actually implement those solutions. So WIE, it is a huge it has a huge member base. There are so much amount of volunteers. So all the faculty members to come together, and with the help of student members, they can actually implement those solutions. Okay, there's another question. What are your suggestions for newly formed WIE group? Um, the type of events we should have. So a newly formed WIE group, it's really great. Congrats that you've started your WIE group. So you're halfway through. So the type of events, probably initially you should raise, and you should have a awareness program for all your members. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah. So you can conduct simple events such as probably uh, for your recruitment, you can conduct events where your student members, they would have probably your senior members, they would have been doing projects, or perhaps they might have learned a new say a new course, or probably some, for example, in electrical we have MATLAB, a new type of software. So in such cases, the senior members, they can give an introduction to the junior members about the courses. So that would be something where you do not require funds. You're utilizing the talent pool in your own college, and you're providing an opportunity for the student members to learn about it. So you can conduct events like that, or you can also have a speech, a talk where alumni members can come forth and talk about, raise an awareness about WIE. Or perhaps you can your alumni members, you have to reach out to your alumni members, and definitely they would be in different fields. So you can make them to come forth and talk about the achievements that they have done, and how and their experience perhaps. And other types of events, you can also conduct events such as probably a contest. We actually had in our student branch, we had a spectrum talk, wherein we told the students to discuss the topics in spectrum, identify interesting topics in the issues of spectrum, and give a talk about that. So you can conduct you can go ahead and conduct events like this on a small scale, so that where you require limited funds, and you can also and you can also increase the participation. When you the main theme is the important thing that you should keep in mind is to keep your student members involved. So to have that, you can probably make them to come forth and give presentations, or probably have give a spectrum talk, or discuss the latest trends in technology, or probably you can have a project expo where students come and present their projects. So that way you're making your student members involved as well. So you can do projects like that. You can make probably your faculty members, there will be women faculty members who have worked ahead, or probably they can come and share their career experience, and they can come and talk about what hurdles they faced. So that would definitely be an insight on how an insight for WIE members, and it would encourage them to come forth. And also you can contact your respective section, and you can also ask them about, you can contact your the WI group in your section, and you can ask them for help. You can invite the chair of, I mean, WI chair of your section, and you can ask them to give a presentation or talk about WI and the opportunities that are out there for WI members. So those are some of the events that you can conduct initially, and later on as you progress, you should have your student members coming to you for ideas. So initially you can start off with events, but then as it progresses, you should give a chance for your student members to come forth and suggest activities. Okay, so there's another question. How much time do you spend for IEEE in a day? How do you manage your academics and IEEE in parallel? So for IEEE, probably I spend about say 5 or 6 hours a day. So basically, I started out as IEEE as a volunteer, but I'm incredibly passionate about IEEE, and I volunteer in my student branch and also in my section, and so it has become a passion for me, so I do not actually see the hours, so the hours just go by. And concentrating in academics is very crucial. You have to balance both. So balancing both in a sense is I ensure that I complete my IEEE work and my academics. I have faculty who encourage me, and I have friends, fellow volunteers who encourage me and ensure that I am up to date in my academics as well. In our college, we are very much encouraged we are encouraged to go ahead and conduct IEEE events. Of course, occasionally there is this a boundary where you have to choose between academics or IEEE. But in our college, they ensure that even though we miss out on classes, we have our friends, we have fellow IEEE volunteers who come back and tell us, what has happened, and they make sure that we stay up to date in our academics. So the key thing is, by concentrating on IEEE, it doesn't mean you have to give up your academics. It is never like that. So IEEE supports academics. So IEEE is an organization of engineers, right? So that is related to your academics. So you should make sure that your academics is supported by IEEE and IEEE is supported by your academics. IEEE is also a platform where you can apply your academics. So you should definitely use, the things that you have learned in your academics and implement it through IEEE. Probably bring about it and create projects. So basically, IEEE it is also a platform for you to it definitely has a connection. Academics and IEEE has a connection. They are definitely not two separate entities. So I would hope that people you do not separate academics and IEEE. They are definitely not two separate entities. Whatever you do in academics, whatever the aspects that you learn, definitely you want to apply it. So the best way to learn is to apply it, right? So you can apply that. You can utilize IEEE as a platform to apply whatever you learn in academics. Okay, so there's a question from Salma, the mentor that I told you about. Please share the contentment that you gained as IEEE volunteer other than the benefits you got. So yes, definitely. So as a volunteer, as I said, in IEEE, you are encouraged. That is a very important thing for everyone. Everyone has talents within them, and everyone has a keen interest. They have ideas locked up, but most of the time it is locked up. So that was the case with me. I had a lot of ideas, but I never put it forth. I never shared it with anyone. So but IEEE was a platform where I could share my ideas. There were people out there who listened to me, who gave me a chance to express my ideas and tell, no, these are the events. No, maybe you can conduct these sort of events, or these are the ideas I have. This is the sort of project that I would like to conduct. And IEEE gave me a platform and a group where members gave me feedback on what sort of changes I can make and how I can be I can better myself. So at every step and every point, IEEE has urged me forth. It is definitely, IEEE has by itself given me a huge family. I would definitely say it as my extended family, because it is a huge support group where at every moment in your journey, perhaps you would have seen, probably once you have members, so many friends through IEEE, when you network with so many friends, and when you post a Facebook status, your likes and comments just speeds up like that. So I would say it's one of the benefits, but Yeah. So on a serious note, IEEE helps you to connect with so many. There are so many people out there to support you, and there is an entire world there out there who will listen to you and tell your project is great, or what changes you can make. So for me, the biggest satisfaction as an IEEE volunteer is rediscovering myself, and also the ability, and also to know that I can make a change, and I can actually impact another person's life. I can actually impact my fellow volunteers. I can probably impact the lives of my juniors, and and tell them that they too have to get up, and they too have to come out and put forth their ideas. So recently I conducted a IEEE membership drive in my student branch. So it was like a huge flashback for me. So initially I was sitting there, I was a passive person, I was just sitting there and listening to all the benefits about IEEE that was being told to me. So, and here I am, and and there I was, sharing the benefits of IEEE to such a huge crowd. So that is a very significant moment to know that so much has there has been so much growth for me as a person. So as an IEEE volunteer, I can reach out to so many members, and I can actually make a change. So that's the biggest thing to me, that I can also make a change in things around me, and I need not be passive to the bad things that are happening around me. If there is, if I want to stop pollution, or I want to try out renewable energy, or raise awareness about solid waste management, then I can go ahead and do it. So that's the thing, like you as an IEEE volunteer, you can make a change, and you can actually grow as a person, and also bring about a change in your career. Okay, there's another question. uh, what's the big barrier you face as a women volunteer, and how do you overcome the same? So the biggest barrier that I faced as a women volunteer would be that perhaps I had to emphasize that even I was capable of generally as a woman in families, they are not very acceptable to conducting events, and they are very anxious about stepping out. Like IEEE has given me the platform to reach out. I travel to different places, events which are occurring in different states, so I go out and attend that. But I there are various impediments. There are some people who do not find it important for a woman to travel, or probably my family is anxious that I'm not capable of traveling. Or there are people who feel that there are actually a very few number of people, but there are people who just don't find the importance of how much women can achieve. They probably they neglect it. They just silent and say probably you can't do it. So it's very probably it's very it demotivates you when someone says that. But as as recently Ramlata ma'am told me, you're supposed to just ignore those people. When people try to demotivate you, you do not listen to them. You go ahead and prove them wrong. So as a women volunteer, that's the change that I have made. There have been people telling me I can't, and I have gone ahead and achieved it, and turned back and told them that I can. Yes, I can. So that's been the biggest impediment that I have faced as a women volunteer. There's another question. uh, whether IEEE are conducting any events related to biology, healthcare, and medicine. Yes, you can actually go ahead and conduct events. Like I do not know whether you're in a student branch, or whether you're in a section, but whatever it is, you can go ahead. WI does not have any limited fields of interest. Basically, WI is to encourage for the recruitment and retentionship of women. So you can go ahead. You can go ahead and create. In case you're not aware of events that are being conducted, you can step forward and you can conduct events in biology or healthcare and medicine. So IEEE is not just restricted to engineering; it has biology, life sciences, and so on. So you can also conduct. You should, in case you're not aware of such events, then you should go ahead and you should step out and set that trend. And probably you should. I mean, since you're very interested in it, you definitely would have an idea to conduct an event. So perhaps you should conduct an event in your student branch and highlight the importance, and probably tell other student branches around in your section that you can also conduct these sort of events in IEEE WI. So definitely you can go ahead and conduct events in biology or healthcare or any such field. So okay, so I would like to tell you with my experience after watching so many, I mean, after being a chairman in my affinity group. So I have the one significant thing which I have noticed is as a chairman, as a team, I mean, I have noticed, I've understood the importance of a teamwork after being part of, being conducting events and activities. Teamwork is extremely crucial, and I'm really gifted, I would say, to have an amazing team. My team, there are so many people there, everyone is an achiever in my team. And we definitely do have positions, secretary, treasurer, and so on. But when we conduct an event, we are passionate about, we put forth our passion of IEEE, and there isn't any discrimination or probably post or something. Each of us, I mean, in case a person is not able to do the work allotted to them, then we step in, and everyone steps in to help them work out. So the biggest encouragement for, I mean, the biggest need for women to, come up for women empowerment would be a support and a encouragement group, I would say. So in that case, in our student branch in WI, and also in women as well as men, the student members in our executive committee, they support us in every step of the way, and in every event every event we conduct, we come together as a team. So for a student branch, I think teamwork is really essential. And when you have a great team, you have to establish a really good team and a good rapport between all the team members, so that, I mean, in spite of the differences in our student branch, we have members in the executive committee who are from different streams. I'm from electrical, my friend is from computer science, and so on. We have people from different streams, but that doesn't stop us from interacting, and that doesn't stop us from being close knit, I would say. I mean, I would definitely say that my executive committee is pretty close to me more than my friends. So there isn't any discrimination in IEEE. There isn't any discrimination based on your field. So you get a chance to interact, and you get a chance to mingle with people from different streams. You may have so many differences, but IEEE gives you a chance to work together as a team and conduct events in a professional manner. You know how it will happen in a workplace. You know how a team functions, and you know what are the how you can support the weaknesses of each other and change them into strengths. So it is very crucial to have an executive committee who have great teamwork. And I would say that our student branch so far is extremely gifted in that aspect. We have a wonderful executive committee, and we have a chairman who supports WI, and all the members, even in our executive committee, like apart from the main IEEE committee and also the societies, everyone, they are actively involved in the events that we conduct, and there isn't any discrimination as IEEE or WI. So in every event, we come together as a team and we work. So definitely, that's one of the highlights for student branch, I would say, is to have a really great team who can work together, and we put in our best for every event. And we hope that the student members, and our main aim is to make sure that student members are satisfied and they are able to get all the benefits of IEEE, and they can also they can step in and volunteer. So that's the main aim that we concentrate in our student branch. Okay, there's a question. Um, how do you work with the WI section group? So, the WI section group is such, in our in Madras section, we have Salma Saitun is the communication coordinator. So in the section, we make sure that the members, the student members in our student branches and other student branches, we make sure that they volunteer in the section level, and they we make sure that there is a connectivity, such that they can go out. I mean, they are not just restricted to activities in our student branch, but they go out and volunteer in the section level, and it is a larger platform for them to showcase their talents, and it's a larger platform for them to interact with other WI members. So connecting with your section is very important, and it gives you more opportunities and provides you a bigger platform for you to exhibit your talents and your abilities. Okay, so there's another question. How does students interact with how do students interact with okay, how do WI students interact with high grade members? So basically, the section gives you a platform for you to interact with the high grade members in WIE. So it is necessary for the student branch to stay in, to stay connected with your section. So you have to reach out to your section and ensure that there is a network between your student branch, and that you're connected to your section, and through them you can reach out to your high grade members. So it's very important, as I said, it would be really great if professionals. There is a very close collaboration between students and professionals, and this takes place only at the section level. Through the section, you can you have an opportunity to meet all the high grade members in WIE. You get a chance to interact with them, and probably when you are interested in when you have similar interests, when you're in the same, you can identify through WI. You can identify, probably when you're interested in an area, you can identify a fellow high grade member in WI who is also working in that field, and that would be an incredible opportunity for you to communicate with them, and collaborate with them, and understand what sort of, and probably discuss with them the interest that you have. So it's very important actually for student members, and it's essential that student members reach out to the high grade members through the section. So having a good network, I mean, having a very good interaction and collaboration with the section is really crucial for the student branch. So student members should go out and reach out to your section, and and also participate in your section level activities, and that might be in when you participating in your section level activities, you get a chance to meet your high grade members. So those are some of the ways through which you can probably reach out to high grade members. Okay, so there's another question. Does WI group collaborate with local companies to hold events? Yes, I mean, so far in our WI, we haven't tried any such event, but yes, definitely we can go ahead. Nowadays, industries actually show a keen interest in women empowerment, so you can definitely approach companies and help them to support your events. So, I mean, just now someone asked about. I mean, recently someone asked about a newly formed WI group. So in such cases, where I mean, in case you have you have limited amount of funds, then you can have a collaboration with local groups, groups which are interested in women empowerment, and you can link with those groups and conduct events. So that would be a really huge opportunity, and that would give you I mean, that is a really good way for you to also satisfy your funds, and also for the local groups, you through the local groups you can actually reach out to a wider audience. So that is really good. It's a really good way for you to connect with your with local companies and conduct events. So yes, there have been actually events where you connect with the local groups and conduct, and that gives you, I mean, when you connect with the local companies, not only funds but also resources. Resources are very important, be it uh, material resources or probably professionals and engineers. So in such cases, local companies can be very crucial. They can even provide internships for the students. So that would be a really great opportunity. So connecting with local companies, and I mean connecting with WI, connecting with the local companies would also be a really good thing. Okay, so are there any additional questions that you would like me to answer? So please let me know if there are any additional questions. So I would like to add that it's very important for student members to interact with the section. So some sections do have a WIE Facebook page, like our Madras section. It has a Facebook page. So in such cases, you can interact with your section, and you can collaborate with your section through social media, perhaps. And it's really essential that you have the support of your section. In that aspect, we have been really happy that we had Ramlata ma'am, and she's been very encouraging, and also Mr. Rangarajan. He's the chair of the Madras section, and both of them have been very encouraging, and they've also played a very important role for us to conduct events. So when we are conducting an event like WI Forum, so it was a section level event, and we had to publicize the event, and we had to apply for funds and so on. So in that case is definitely for the encouragement and the constant support, in section you are recognized for your achievements. So in IEEE it is very important that you recognize your student members for the volunteering activities they're doing or their participation. So it's really important. Student members need to be valued and need to know that they are doing good. It's like giving them a pat on their back. So it's very important for you. I mean, if you're an Execom member or if you're a student member, I would say that volunteer, and definitely there will be. I mean, you will definitely be recognized for your volunteering activities in IEEE. So in that case, in our section, we are recognized in our section and in our student branch. We are recognized for our volunteering activities, and also we are recognized for actively participating in IEEE and contributing to IEEE. So I would also like to add that WIE, it is not only for women. So men also play a very important role in women empowerment, and it is very evident, and it is very evident in our student branch basically, where we have all the male members as well. They have come forth and have also contributed. They play a very important role actually in WIE to raise awareness about women empowerment and contribute towards it. Okay, so I see that there are no additional questions. Thank you so much, and I would like to thank Kiana for helping me through this entire process of live chat, and thank you so much. And I would like to thank the section, and I would like to thank Ramlata ma'am and Rangarajan sir, for encouraging us so far, and definitely our WI student branch. There are our alumni. They played a key role, and also the current team. and our branch counselor, Mr. Selikumar sir, everyone, they played a very important role. And thank you so much, everyone. We everyone encouraged us, and that's how JPR Engineering College is has right now won the best affinity group of the year award. So that's a huge boost for us, and we will definitely continue giving better events and providing better volunteering opportunities for all our members. Thank you so much. So I'm sorry, there is a question. Can you share your experience regarding the IEEE conference? So, okay, so recently I attended the Region 10 Congress in Hyderabad. So that was an incredible experience for me because I got to meet Nita ma'am, and I met Takako Hashimoto ma'am, and I was able to meet John Day and the presidents, the past presidents and current president. So it was an incredible experience. It was a chance for us to reach out to the high grade IEEE members, um, the most important members in IEEE, and we had a chance to directly interact with them. And it was a huge chance for a volunteer. We had a chance to, it's really an incredible, it's something like, meeting superstars. So, that was the feeling that we had. We were able to meet the superstars of IEEE, and we were able to directly talk to them and ask them any queries that we had about IEEE. And also, and also I was able to reach out to people from different countries, from different cultures. We had I was able to share and enjoy with, I was able to reach out to people from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. At the end of the Region 10 Congress, we were really best friends, all of us. We had a wonderful platform to mingle with so many people, and by the end of the conference I had a huge friend list. And there were so many, I was really happy to see, there are so many people out there who are, as passionate about IEEE as you are. And that's really an amazing thing. So now I'm still in contact with all those people. Who else can boast that you have friends in, so many different countries? So that's an incredible, Region 10 was an incredible experience. We got to know more about how we can provide better benefits to IEEE, and how we can, bring about better changes in our student branch, and provide better benefits to our student members. So, are there any other further questions that you would like me to answer? What advice do you give to children? Okay, so what advice do you give to children about engineering? Well, what I would like to say is, engineering, it is not a subject. Engineering is it is a platform where engineering is a passion for me. So don't treat engineering as a subject. Engineering is all around you, and as an engineer you can achieve so much, and you can make a really huge difference in your lives and in the lives of others. And you can engineering is a vast field that you can explore. So please don't consider engineering to be a subject. It is something that has to be explored. So take engineering as an exploration and not as a subject. So that would be my advice for children about engineering. So whatever subject it may be, whether engineering or not, go ahead and have fun. Engineering is definitely fun. So instead of considering as a tedious subject, I would encourage people to apply engineering. And once they start applying engineering, then they'll definitely realize that engineering is not some tedious subject, but it is a vast space that can be explored. Okay. What are your pointers that you would like to give budding IEEE members? Well, I would, tell IEEE student members, I would tell them that, once you enter into IEEE, utilize the benefits of IEEE. Definitely, there are a huge amount of benefits in IEEE. Utilize them, but at the same time, volunteer. Volunteer is a very key thing in IEEE. So, volunteer, you have to step out. IEEE provides you benefits, but unless you step out and you utilize those benefits, then it's not happening. So you have to be involved in IEEE. IEEE provides you benefits, but you have to go ahead and reach it. And I would encourage IEEE student members to volunteer and interact, utilize the opportunities to network, and utilize IEEE to enhance your career. Your career is really important, definitely. So through IEEE you can grow as a better individual. I would definitely say I'm an example for it. So go ahead, volunteer in IEEE, and utilize the benefits of IEEE and share it with others, and share it with everyone around you, and tell them the benefits of IEEE, and encourage them to volunteer as well. And probably at some stage you will realize that you're making an impact in someone else. I think that is the day you will actually realize that that's the change that IEEE has made. IEEE will definitely make a change in you, and you will get the chance to make a change in someone else's life and probably inspire them into engineering. Okay, apart from academics, is it possible to help common people who live in the coastal area through IEEE? Yes, definitely. IEEE is, it's an organization where you have opportunities to help people. It's advancing technology through, it's for the sake of humanity, right? So IEEE's, tagline denotes that. So basically, definitely people from coastal areas, at any areas, in case you can identify, you can identify the problems that they are facing, and through IEEE you can implement a solution there. Probably you can give, in case you identify any problems that you're facing in coastal areas, then perhaps you can approach your student branch and tell them the problem, and you can ask them for solutions, or you can come up with solutions and tell them, and tell them that you can and you can provide the solution, and tell them that you can probably implement it. Or probably you can reach out to your section and give them a proposal, and tell them that this is the solution that you would like to implement. And at all stages of IEEE, you have funds available through which you can implement your projects and your ideas. So in that way, IEEE ensures that your idea is heard, and in case your idea is really good and excellent and can be implemented, then IEEE will definitely help you in that regard. So in case you have, if you have identified any problems in the society, then please go ahead and identify the solutions for it, or reach out to professional members and ask how you can create a solution, and you should definitely and ensure that you implement the solution. So that's what IEEE is about, identifying problems and creating solutions for them. Okay, thank you so much for everyone for listening, and I hope you continue to volunteer in IEEE. And all student members, if you have any other queries, you can contact women@ieee.org. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.